Hello, my name is John Lemke, and today I'll be talking about the future of making fuel cell cars a reality. And I'll be emphasizing on the points of how it reduces greenhouse gas emissions and carbon emissions, as well as how we can make this technology more feasible by reducing the cost of the electrocatalyst and other cost barriers that could be managed. So why would we consider using fuel cells? For one, fuel cells do not use hydrocarbons to drive a reaction to generate power. There's no byproducts such as greenhouse gases or carbon dioxide that's created from a hydrocarbon, as seen in the gasoline engines, as the only byproducts that are in fuel cell cars is water and heat. And as you can see in this picture, this is a Toyota Mirai, which uses a proton exchange membrane fuel cell, and it's the only commercial car available that uses fuel cell technology. And in Naomi Hussel's paper, Iron Thiocyanine Platinum-Free Hydrogen Fuel Cell Catalyst research proposal, she mentions how a typical gasoline engine uses 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide, which is produced from the engine every year, and how even though that there's another alternative to not use fossil fuels such as lithium batteries are non-recyclable, while fuel cell technology offers a more cleaner, more renewable hydrogen gas fuel source, with the only downside of having to use platinum as an electrocatalyst, which in the fuel cell on the Toyota Mirai is about 30 grams. So what is a fuel cell? As mentioned, a fuel cell generates power, typically mainly electrical power, with only water and heat as byproducts. And how does that do that? Well, as seen here, a proton exchange membrane fuel cell, hydrogen gas fuel will go in and touch the first electrode, which is the anode, which is the first part of the redox half reactions. What is a redox half reaction? It's a reduction oxidation reaction, which means the reduction of adding electrons into a reaction to react with the hydrogen and create electricity, then oxidation, which strips the electrons and just creates oxygen, which creates the water byproduct. And so once the electrons and the protons split from the hydrogen, the protons will go into this proton exchange membrane, where once the electrons go through the wire, create the electrical current charge, then go down to the cathode, oxygen will oxidize the cathode and create the water byproduct. And it normally does this through an oxidation reduction reaction, and that's where the electrocatalyst comes into play. So why are we not using fuel cells? Well, the high cost associated with making fuel cells, such as platinum, and there's not an ample way to charge and store hydrogen compared to gasoline in a petrol car. As mentioned in DK Ross's paper, they mention how the DOE, which is the Department of Energy, rejects taxation as a way to persuade the public to switch from gasoline to fuel cell cars, and how fuel cell cars need to be on par with gasoline cars in terms of cost, in terms of fuel, which now, as of 2022, we're reaching that point, and how they want to reach a target cost of $5 a kilowatt, and they want low refueling time, similar to what you see at a petrol station, and specific energy densities, which is the first barrier, which is being broken. But it's not the main point, as the main point is using a platinum catalyst and why we use them. Well, a platinum catalyst, which is used, as I mentioned, in the oxidation reduction reaction to make finish the reaction and create the water byproduct, it's used as it has a low operating temperature of the cell, meaning there doesn't have to be heated up and have an extra component to heat up and cause the reaction to go. And the platinum has an effective surface area. But like I said, the downside is its high cost. So going back, what is an electrocatalyst? Well, the reaction needs to be able to go through, and every reaction has an activation for an electrical half reaction has a barrier to entry, which is an energy barrier. And the electrocatalyst speeds up that barrier reaction and lowers that activation energy so the half reactions can take place. If these half reactions cannot take place, the potential will not go through and no electrical current or power will be generated. So why should we look into replacing platinum-based electrocatalysts to make fuel cells more cheaper for the future? Well, for one, it's cheaper to use non-normal metals rather than using platinum. As stated in Zhang et al.'s paper, as well as an article called The Electrocatalyst for Fuel Cells, it's cheaper to use a carbon-based metal electrocatalyst rather than platinum. And in Zhang et al.'s paper, they mentioned we use, as we can see here, as I did for my junior design project, an iron thiocyanine graphene dispersion electrocatalyst rather than a platinum catalyst. And the reason we can do this is it'll risk the poisoning of the cell, as over time the platinum fuel cell can get carbon monoxide crossover or methanol crossover from the polymer membrane exchange. And also platinum, the activity declines over time, which is not good as how costly it is, and it would be a huge barrier for car owners to switch that out. As you can see, how using graphene and iron thiocyanine, it's better to it replaces the platinum and creates a cyclic rotamogram, which means it goes through an anode peak and a cathode peak as it goes back to its original potential, meaning it goes through an entire cycle and can support a redox reaction that cause the fuel cell to go. And also, we characterized it correctly in our research to make sure that none of it aggregated and that the component stayed structurally intact. With this reasoning, it's safe to assume that we can in the future lower the cost of the electrocatalyst and cause the reaction to go and to make the fuel cell more cheaper for the future and reduce greenhouse emissions and help hopefully impact the car industry and make fuel cells cars a reality. Thank you, and here are the references I used for this project. And thank you for watching.